Stephen King is not only a master of horror, I think he's a master of naming strategy as well. A lot of his books are really immediately capturing you in the title alone. Misery, The Stand, Shawshank Redemption. I think that these are immediately very gripping and yet still very simple titles. And good lord if he didn't get the best one for a horror entity in It. I know literally the last video I said I wasn't gonna recommend big things. Obviously it's a pretty big thing. But excuse me while I talk about It for a little bit. Genuinely freaky film. This, of course, is the TV miniseries adaptation. I believe it aired on... I have no idea where it aired, and you know what? I'm not going to sit around and find out. But a lot like Salem's Lot, it's about a 3-hour TV film that's genuinely well done for the time. There's some goofy effects, and then this one gets a lot of flack because it ends the big climactic fight with Pennywise becoming a big spider. It's a little weird, and it's not exactly what was in the book at all. But it has some great acting, namely from this chap. Tim Curry is a fantastic Pennywise. He does such a good job. I am speaking over probably my favorite scene of the film where he's just bullying the shit out of Richie Tozier. I love it. I love it. Beep, beep, Richie. I love it. It's good. I still like this rendition of the film. But of course, I'm sure everybody's aware that, 25 something years after this one comes out, they decide to do a double feature of a new It series, It Part 1 and Part 2. I do like these as well, slightly. I think the first one's really, really good, and I don't think that the critical reception betrays that whatsoever. I think everybody loved this first one, especially this one came out like right after Stranger Things, so it was kind of like Stranger Things was inspired by this, and now there's a new adaptation of this, and it's capitalizing on the hype. But at the same time, I think that this is just genuinely a well done film. I really, really, really like this one. The second one drags a little bit for me. I feel like it creates a comedy of things in the second one, and I'm not sure how I feel about that, because this is a creepy story, and I like it to stay a creepy story. It also inserts a subplot with Richie Tozier where he is gay. I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. It was not in the original novel, but I like it as an addition. I think that it makes sense for his character, and a lot of people are like, no, he's hitting on women in the first movie. That wasn't there at all. You don't understand anything. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. I think it was a fine addition. That's my opinion. That's all you're ever gonna get out of me. Overall, I like these. Bill Skarsgård plays a fine Pennywise. Obviously not as good as Tim Curry. I don't think anybody could play Pennywise the same way that Tim Curry does. But he does a good job. He's sufficiently scary. It's a completely different beast because obviously this one has the budget to do a lot of extra effects, whereas this one did not. This one was almost entirely reliant on Tim Curry being genuinely terrifying. This one's still good though, and I do like Skarsgård as an actor. One last thing I wanted to talk about is It, the novel. And I know a lot of times I like to recommend the novel because, you get the source of things. But at the same time, I have not really read a lot of the things that I've been recommending during Danktober. I read Coraline. I didn't read The Ring. I've read part of It. You see this little bookmark in here? Maybe you can't, maybe you can. Yes, I'm still using Versus system cards as bookmarks. Let's not talk about that. Clearly, I have not really gotten very far in it. This is what I've read. This is what I have left. But if your eyes are working, you can see that this is a phone book. This is a thick, like with 3 C's, thick ass book. This thing I've been working on, chipping away a little here and there since I was in college. And I know I may come off like a young man. I am not. I've been out of college for 3 years. No, I've been out of college for 4 years. I don't even remember anymore how many years it's been. So that's like, I've been working on this book for a while. And I don't think I'm going to finish it anytime soon either. It's really well written. Not any discredit to Stephen King whatsoever. He is still a phenomenal writer, and his writing style I love. But this is tough. This book is tough. I can't do it. But that's it. I think it is really good. Some of the things they shuffle around between the two adaptations is a little weird. You know, in the book, it keeps going back and forth in both of them. In both of the adaptations, it's kind of like firmly hears them as children, hears them as adults. It's a little looser in the TV thing because they filmed them simultaneously as one project. In the second adaptation, it's not. They straight up did 2 separate projects. They hadn't even announced the actors for part 2 when part 1 came out. It was not even on the board who was playing who, and I remember waiting to hear, who's going to play Richie, who's going to play Ben, who's going to play Bill, XYZ, But yeah, it's a solid adaptation. Again, I don't think I've ever seen a Stephen King adaptation that I didn't at least partially enjoy. But that's not enough to get it into Danktober. It is genuinely terrifying. I love it. I'm not gonna rank them. I just had the thought that, hey, maybe I should rate the adaptations. No, I'm not gonna do that. Nope. Give it a watch if you want to. Bye-bye.